I'm on the road to recovery in dirty Jersey. Home in New Jersey, Nicky Smith, a guy who gives new meaning to the word dedication and dedication in recovery. Recovery is not a destination, it's a journey. And I'm happy to take you on this journey with one of my good friends, Nicky Smith.
My story, well, my struggle, probably began when I was 11 years old. I came home one night and, Dad was sleeping, and he was an addict like myself, and I seen him struggle through the years. And mom said that he was just resting for the night, and I was a daddy's boy at this age, and I went to check on him, and he was overdosed, and I was the first person to find him, and I screamed for my mother, and basically I think that's where my story began. So when this happened, my dad died, and a week later my niece was born, and all the attention I was getting from my dad, like I said, I was a daddy's boy, and when he'd passed away, all the attention came off of me and it went to my niece. And I struggled. Something went off with my love meter when I was little, and basically my love meter was off, and I didn't feel the love feeling coming from my family. We bought a new house, we got new dogs. My niece was born, and all the attention I was getting from my father switched from me to everything else, and I felt like I got swept under the rug. And so at this age, I was trying to be noticed, and I was doing good in school. I was doing what was needed of me, doing chores around the house, and I wasn't getting the attention, the good attention. And when I picked up beer, I started getting bad attention, and I really noticed that the bad attention was easier than the good attention. And I just started acting out, and I noticed that I liked the attention, no matter what the attention was, good or bad. I just liked the attention, and like I said, the bad was always easier than the good. And I just started acting out, going to house parties, smoking weed at a young age, and I don't know, getting into fights and stuff like that. But in high school, I was a really good kid, and I showed up to the parties and stuff like that, and I minimized drinking a lot in my story today, and I believe that alcohol, it will lead me to other things, because the way I drink, it's not right. I drink to drink, and there's no other way. There's no one beer for me. When I graduated high school, I was always a chameleon in high school, and I was part of the band, I was part of the jocks, I was part of the skaters, I was part of all these different things, because I needed attention, and I wasn't comfortable with myself. I needed validation from you to be cool in my own eyes, and the attention was always what I yearned for. And so when I hit college, I said, I was a popular kid in high school, and basically when I hit college, I didn't know anybody, and I didn't know what to do. And I became friends with this pothead, and he was selling weed, and I dove right in first. And I started smoking weed really heavy, and then about a month later, I started selling it by pounds, and I got arrested for the first time. And this is when I still had emotions. This is when I had remorse and guilt of what I was doing to my family. So when I got arrested, I lost my license at the age of 17, and because I was driving with drugs in the car, and they knew what to look for. My family knew what to look for. They knew what to look for: the Dutch wrappers, the weed bags, just everything that goes along with weed. And 2 weeks later, I stopped smoking altogether, because I had remorse and guilt of what my family was doing, what I was doing to my family. And about 2 weeks went by, and I showed up at a street race, and these kids were having a good time. They were doing their thing, and I wasn't really comfortable with myself. I didn't have weed to. I thought drugs would make me another person, and I had to be another person for somebody to like me. So so I walked up to these kids that were having a good time at this car race, and I got into their car, and I didn't come out till 8 years later. They were doing lines of Percocet, and I fell in love with that night because I thought I found something that can drain me all emotions, and I didn't have to be cool in your eyes anymore, and it made me like Superman, and it made me do the things that I wanted to do. In all reality, like it ruined my life. From there on, man, I went on a 6-year pill run. Like I stole every single piece of gold my family had. I stole every piece of electronic my niece had. I stole all the money I can get in the house. All finding ways and means to get that one more in me, and so like at the end of my road, at the end of the pill road, I got kicked out all the time. My family showed me tough love, and they kicked me out, and I was staying in a hotel for a while, and I got arrested, and I stayed 30 days in county jail, and I begged my mom to get me out, and she got me out. And my promises that I gave her that I would stay clean and I would do the right thing, it went out the window as soon as I walked out that door. It was like a flood trap that opened, and as soon as I got released. And 5 months went by, and I went to court for the first time for my offense, and the judge was like, "Are you clean?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm clean. I'm doing my thing. I'm sober." And he gave me a drug test that day, and I failed miserably. And I went to, he sentenced me to 180 days in county jail, 3 years probation. And I did the 6 months in jail, doing push-ups, doing dips, doing everything that you do in jail, but not working on myself. And I was dwelling in old behaviors, and I was like a caged animal in there, and I knew I was going to use once I got out that door. I wasn't ready to stop yet. And so basically I got released that night, and I started doing dope for the first time. My friend was like, "Here, like, try this is better." And the pills are really expensive at this point, and like I started doing dope. That right there, I didn't know what that would do to my life. And once I picked up dope, heroin, it just caused mayhem in my life. Through all this time, I went through detoxes, I went through rehabs. I have three rehabs under my belt, 2 detoxes under my belt. I have 18 arrests, 17 misdemeanors, and 13 felonies. And all these times, I didn't work on myself. I didn't internalize anything. I just did what they told me to do, and just so I can use one more time. And so once this at the end of my road, man, this right here, January 19th, 2014, I hit the same building 9 days in a row before that. And I didn't trust myself by checking into rehab. I didn't trust myself by going into an outpatient. I didn't trust myself at all. And I knew I had to go do something about it, because I didn't want to live the life I was living. And I didn't want to commit suicide. I was adding more drugs to the mixture to try. One more wouldn't hurt. One more wouldn't hurt. One more wouldn't hurt. And it did. I woke up every single time. And every morning it was like the same Groundhog's Day movie, just chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing. And like I said, January 19th, 2014, something happened in my life, and I got arrested. And something changed this time around. I signed up for the TC program inside the jail. I started actually working on myself. I stayed in that program for 6 months, and then I got released on drug court. And they told me to go to the 12-step fellowship meetings, so I started going to those. And I stay with the 12-step fellowship meetings, and I keep on doing the meeting thing, and I keep on reaching out, and I keep on talking to other people like me, trying to trying to do this on a daily basis. There's people in my life that can get me through the things that I haven't been through yet. There's people in my life that I can get them through the things that I've been through. You know, like they say, like rock bottoms is where you stop digging. And that's definitely my story, because I stopped digging January 19th, 2014.
Maybe the story sounds typical, but it's not. Maybe the journey sounds typical, but it's not. And he shows how you can overcome addiction, overcome obstacles, and win people back over. Bridges that you burned can be rebuilt, and Nicky proves that.
I'm very passionate about recovery. I'm very passionate about the things that saved my life. I'm very just like, look at this right here. This is beautiful, right? We're out on a lake or a pond, whatever you call this, and like this is the little things that I missed in life. This is the little things that I overlook, you know. And you know, recovery. Ever since I came in recovery, January 20th, 2014, you know, like in this process, I got my emotions back. I started crying on movies like Free Willy. I started crying on like stupid little things that happen in movies. And I was actually in jail when that happened. And this guy was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "I don't know, but it's awesome." Because it was really awesome. Because that was the first time I actually felt sadness in a very long time. There was just these little things that came about me in jail. But once I got released, I was in jail for 8 months, and I got released, and I, you know, like that's when life started. That's when like everything that I was working on in the TC program. That's when like the war begun. Because this is a war, regardless of what it is. You know, like I came home and I stayed with my uncle for a month, and it was time for me to move out. And I actually, when I gained responsibility and accountability for my actions in my life, I actually worked on my own, got my own job, started paying bills on my own. I started doing things just like baby steps, really, because like. The day I got arrested, I pressed the reset button on my life. I came out of jail, I got a new phone number. I deleted everything out of my old life because I don't want any of that, man. I don't want any of the old things that brought me down for years and years of my life, bring me back to where I was. There's things that are happening in my life, like there's things that I apply in my life and that I learn about. And when I applied those things in my life, I finally got my own apartment. And the other recovering addict I was dating, she pushed me to get my license back. And I thought there was no hope for my license. I thought there was no hope in general to get a car. There was no hope in general for anything. And she pushed me to get my license back. She made me pay all the fines, and she's the one that drove me. She had faith and hope that I could do it too. And when I got my license back, my mom, she decided to co-sign a brand new car for me. This is the same mother I was talking about that I stole all of her money, that she kicked me out regardless of what I was doing because I was high all the time. This is the same mother that lost faith in me, and she co-signed for a brand new 2016 car for me. You can't tell me recovery doesn't work. You really can't. The things that I'm doing in my life, like today, I just had lunch with my family. I'm going to my sister's house down in Lenoka Harbor about once a month now, twice a month now. You know, recovery is not just about not using drugs. It's about bettering all areas of your life. You know, I'm an asset in my full-time job. I'm an asset in my family. I'm an asset in all areas of my life because I was never an asset anywhere. I'm actually wanted today. I'm actually wanted to be at family events. For 8 years straight in my active addiction, I was in no photos. It was my brother, my sister, my mother, and my niece. That's it. There was no Nicky. There was none. I was gone. I didn't even want to be there. And to tell you the truth, the people that were there didn't even want me there because I would have stolen anything that they had around. And but like my family sees the miracle happening in my life. Everybody that I surround myself, they see the miracle happening in my life. And you know, like if this drug addict can get clean, there's like, sky's the limit for any drug addict out there. And I pray for you guys all the time, because I know my rock bottom. I know the things that I did in my active addiction, and like the life that I'm living today, I don't deserve. That's for sure. But I never dreamt of the day that I can wake up not dope sick, because that was my biggest dream one day. If the next day I can wake up not dope sick, that was my dream at one point in my life, and I have that and a lot more. I got my first miracle was my clean date, and I'm basically on my like 300th by now, because the things that are happening in my life just keep on constantly going. And because like I said, everybody in my life, they knew where I came from. They seen I was 142 pounds, soaking wet. I was skin and bones. I never smiled in any photo on social media. And then 8 months later, I'm 225 pounds. I'm smiling like I never smiled again in my life. And they see something happened in my life. It's very evident that something happened in my life. And that thing is called recovery. And if you don't believe in it, you know, like we're out here, we're everywhere. You just have to keep your eye open for the miracle, because I'm a miracle, you're a miracle. Just stay true to what you want in life. That's all you really want. You know what I mean? And you know, I work a program, and like I said, I do go to the 12-step fellowship, and I keep on working at this thing, and I chipping away the onion, peeling the onion. There's layers of this onion that I'm peeling, and some of the layers I don't like, but there's the things that went wrong in my life. Like I said, that love meter, man, that love meter was off, and I feel the love. I actually could say I love myself today, and I actually, you know, like I made amends kind of to myself and my family by staying clean. Like when I first got out of jail, I said like, how am I gonna get a relationship back with my brother? How am I gonna get a relationship back with my sister? And I wanted it right now. But in all reality, it took me some time. I said I was gonna do it so many times, and I fell right on my face every time I did it, because I wasn't willing. And so this time around, they seen something different. I stayed clean, and I kept on doing the meeting thing, and I kept on showing up for them, and I kept on answering the phone for them, and they see me buying an apartment. They see me trying to get better jobs and better my life in all areas. And you know, I got a relationship with my niece today. She's more like a little sister to me. My mother, you know, like I love my mom dearly. My sister, she's a registered nurse. My brother, he's a cop. And you know, I always thought I was the black sheep of the family, but there's a lot more black sheeps out there that are working on their life, and there's a lot more black sheeps out there that gather once a night for me. And it's just a beautiful thing, man, recovery, because I never thought recovery was going to be like this. You know, I'm 27 years old, and I thought what happens when I get married if I want to drink? What happens if I want to go out with friends? What happens if I want to do this or that? And in all reality, I don't need any of that, man. Like, I can have a good time, because like I know my worth today, and I know what I can bring to the table in any area of my life. Even if it's a dinner with family, dinner with friends, I can have the life that I want, and I don't need any substance in the world to make me feel any other type of way of who God created me to be.
So on the road to recovery, on this journey with you, sharing stories of inspiration and motivation, showing that recovery is not only possible, but it's happening. I'm so glad I was able to share Nicky's story with you. Compelling, overcoming obstacles to find his path and his journey to recovery. We'll see you on the next episode. I'm Michael DeLeon.